All right. Well, we're here for another live stream on another Thursday. So we got that going for us. If you have questions, get them in the chat box. We will try to answer them. You know, because that's what we did. The game of snowboard on the wheel is still going on. We've given away 3 snowboards so far this summer. There's only like 8 more we need to get rid of. Not counting the new stuff, which will probably be like another, with that would bring us to like 24 snowboards to give away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that. Quite a few.
Yeah. So Lewis Hamilton is now doing a Dior snowboard because, you know, F1 racers are totally snowboarders.
They got a lot of free time.
A lot of free time. Yeah. Between races.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't wrap yourself around a turn, I guess you can do it around a tree. So we have the weekly poll going on in there. So feel free to answer that. But yes, let's see. What else we got going on? Oh, yeah. Cultural mystery link of the week. I think everyone will like that. It's down in the description. There's also an edit from Snowboy Productions for the Hollow event. So, yeah. All right. Let's just start right into this with a super chat from letter Spin for the win, not the FIS kind, the fun kind. You don't want to get fist? Nobody wants to get fist. Well, oh, you won a letter. Letters won a letter.
Nice.
That's a rarity and a half. That man usually loses them. He's got S and N right now.
He'll start off hot, get a few, and then they're gone.
It's okay. He'll probably get up to like S.N.O.W.B.O.A.R. He'll be right at the R, and then he'll bankrupt it. All right. We got Jerry TS. I can't be there. Counterclockwise. Okay, I'll give you a counterclockwise. Oh, got all of that slow sign. Okay, we got letters with a serious question. Bigger improvement, last year's Force upgrade or this year's Felcore upgrade? Hashtag Union Mid AF. Hashtag come eat me, Scott. Or come at me, Scott. Sorry, I read that wrong. Come at me.
I like come eat me.
I like come eat me too. Thirsty Thursday, we're going to have some cannibalism, which the date for Thirsty Thursday for the Ski Cooper meetup is February 20th. So the week after President's Day. You have to buy your tickets ahead of time. It'll be $30 tickets. They'll sell them on their website. And there's like next to no cell service. So walkie-talkies are encouraged or bullhorns. Lots of bullhorns. And Gorb is master of ceremonies, which means he has to orchestrate all and herd all the cats, which will be great.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. So,
yeah. Anyways. I don't know. What do you think is the bigger upgrade, the Force or the Felcore?
I don't know. The Falcor looked pretty sweet. I didn't get to ride it, but I really like everything they've changed on it. The base is super interesting to me. I really like that it's like soft on the sides and stuff and doesn't just create a super hard flex point on the board, which is awesome. The new high back looks amazing to me. Like it actually looks like it's supposed to, like when they kept saying like it's an asymmetrical high back, and it's like, is it though? But now it looks more asymmetrical. The ankle strap is absolutely amazing, in my opinion, what they're doing with like that molded exterior. And then like
you can't feel that heel strap at all.
Like that's
all. It does not matter how hard you tighten it down. You cannot feel it.
And that's how I felt about the Force strap too, where it's like it's just pure comfort. Like what they're doing with that skinny foam in there, they're like, that's not gonna be shit. And then it turns out you're like, wow, that's super comfortable actually. Like I don't know. I like that they took that technology and brought it over for sure, and they're putting it in more of their straps. But what do you think? What's better?
I think for the everyman, the Force is better, but for the Felcore customer, I hated the old Felcore. Only bindings I almost threw in a trash can on Steamboat. I don't mean like the base area. I literally mean at 4 points right there at the lodge. I almost threw them in the dumpster and sat on my snowboard and rode it back to the base because I was so pissed at how bad they were when I rode them. I didn't even review them. They were so fucking bad. I hated the old Felcores that much. I'm pretty sure I just gave them to someone. I was just like, you want them, you can fucking. I didn't. He was like, I'll give you. I was like, no, just I never want to see those things in my fucking house ever again. They were so bad. So,
do they still have a mini disc?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, all right. Letters. All hail King Donut. Hashtag letters for letters. Just so everyone sees. That's my subtitle today. I'm King Donut. King Donut.
Curtis would be proud.
Bankruptcy. That didn't take long.
I told you.
He came in hot and he's already down to nothing. My dog's barking at something too. Bork. Bork. All right. And then Letters wants everyone to join our Discord. Totally normal, no cops. Definitely no cops in the Discord. No cops. Or maybe all the cops. I don't know. He just can't win. He got the Avon tax, lose 2 letters. All right. So, Milo, how funny is it that F1 champion Lewis Hamilton did snowboard collab with Dior? I asked for one for review. Everyone's like, we need to make this happen. Everyone's oh, it's coming from a good factory. And I looked it up and I was like, their specs are generic as fuck. Like what they're known for is making stiff cambered boards for competitors. That's really it. So,
Do you know what kind of camber profile it has or anything?
Full.
It's just full camber?
That's what it looks like. Looks like full camber. It looks like the same Dior one that they did. What was it? 2-3 years ago? Or maybe it also
could have been the one last year too.
Yeah, it also looks like that. It almost has the same tip shape as that $7,000 Gucci board. But don't worry, this one comes in at the affordable price of $2,000. Not like, you could go buy an Orca, a set of Falcors, and a pair of Thraxis for less.
You could go get a golden Apex. Thraxis Falcors for less.
You could go buy a Project X and a set of Mercuries.
You could. I highly recommend that over a Dior.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with that. Okay. We got Slushy Shredder coming in. We're here. We're live. Let's get the wheel spinning. Make the degenerates happy. Click the links. And resident moderator, Jackoff B, totally tubular, not a single cop in here, Discord. And there's the link. All right. And from our boy Hilux Shred in the Southern Hemisphere. Hey, Angry, have you ever traded old snowboards for blow? What's your definition of old? First off, and no, I've never traded them for blow. I did trade a snowboard for $50 at Taco Bell once when I lived in Steamboat. Because you know how hard it is to get Taco Bell in Steamboat.
It is. That's not.
It was still warm when they delivered it. I couldn't believe it.
The key to that is if you're driving it from Summit County, you put the seat warmer on, and then you just put the food on the seat warmer. I used to do it all the time when I'd like come and visit you or like Travis when he lived here, and I'd stop at Chipotle, and then on the way out you get a shit ton of napkins and put them on top in the bag, and then you put the burrito on the seat warmer next to you, and it stays hot the whole time.
I just throw it up on top of the dashboard and turn the defroster on.
That could work too. But in the winter, sometimes you get a cold burrito on top.
Dashboard nachos before driving cross country?
No, we when I worked forestry, we used to go and get tinfoil and White Castle sliders from the freezer section, and you wrap those up and you stick them next to the turbo on the work truck, and by the time you drove from there to the site, about 45 minutes, you had nice piping hot sliders for breakfast. That was almost a daily thing for me.
My brother was driving across Kansas one time in the middle of summer. It was like 100+ degrees in a Subaru GL wagon with no AC. So he threw a plate of nachos and threw cheese on him and drove and just watched him bubble as he was driving. And then he's like, yeah, when I pull over, I just have fresh nachos.
I mean, that's not a bad call in the middle of summer.
That's funny. But then his friend Doug took it to the next level and put a hot dog on his antenna on his car. This was the 90s. So cars still, he was driving a Volkswagen Rabbit. So he put the thing on there and drove. And I was like, was that thing caked in bugs? He's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Extra protein.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there isn't any bugs inside of it anyway. So what's a little crunch on the outside?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bart Simpson had, I doubt Lewis Hamilton would ride a Dior snowboard himself. Just add his name and 44 number to market it. He's buds with Shaun White, so probably he has a white space board, a decent board or two. I've heard that Lewis Hamilton can actually shred. Like he actually goes up to Baldface and smashes POW.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. Because like the Baldface guys were like, we love it when he comes in for a couple weeks. And I'm like, I'm sure you do, because he probably just like drinks all the booze and then you bill him 6 months later.
Oh yeah. And then he just bills it back to one of his sponsors or something.
Like,
you guys take care of that shit.
Yeah.
I was drinking vodka Red Bulls all night. You just take care of that.
Yeah. All right. Joe Gunn, we'll go burr. Go. Try again. Womp womp. All right. Well, we've got a super chat here from our boy Letters. Feed TC hashtag Letters for Letters. Double bankruptcy coming on.
Double bankruptcy.
Oh, you lose. You were so close. All right. We got Ian who wants to snowboard. Ouch. Lose the letter. And I know you have some. I know you do. But are you on page 3 or 4? Oh, no, you lost everything last week. Never mind. All right. Let's see. Okay. Rob Gams, any suggestions, locations, or tips for trying to book first heli trip this winter? Just remember, if you're booking with randoms, you can only go to the best terrain for the weakest person in the group, and they're probably lying about how good they are. So you want to take your friends and then remind them that they are not as good as they think they are.
It's always when you go on a trip like that, you get up to the top and you're like, oh, shit. Like, no matter what, you're like, this is not what I'm used to. Like, out of your element for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know where you want to go for the heli. That's not something. The last time I rode in a helicopter, it cost me 10 grand and I woke up missing an organ. Fucking snowboarding. Someone taking body parts from me. But yeah, the big thing is making sure like you do your research, kind of look at historical data too on the dates that you're choosing to make sure there's going to be snow and stuff. You don't want to get up there and just have it be crusty.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yep. All right. James Peterson letting everyone know summer sucks. Facts.
Yeah.
All right. We got this one from Brian P. Do I need $400 Falcors? The strap is calling me. Click the links.
Is that how much they're up to now?
Think so. Yeah.
Ooh.
They're
that's
trying to rival the black labels.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's on par with like an A10 and an Apollo and all that shit. So I guess it's not that crazy.
Yep. Yep. So there's that. All right. Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: the early review dropped on Angry Snowboarder VIP today. TC, you just filmed the top 5 where we mentioned that, didn't you?
Nope, not the Falcor yet.
No, that might be actually a me thing then. Can't remember. Huh. Yeah. Oh no, that's coming up. It is in the top 5s for something, so
it is
that much. Good news. The people above and below you get nothing.
They also didn't lose anything, though.
They didn't lose anything this time. It's okay. And our boy Cam, medium of media, given the PSA, you can reload your Ski Cooper Pass online. Don't stand in line. So if you saved your disposable one, you can sign into your account and it'll reload it for you. So,
you still got yours?
Yeah, I think it's in the back of the car or it's in the my wallet or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I still have mine.
When in doubt, I'm just gonna start screaming for Pat to come out of his office and help me. Pat, I need Pat. Where's Pat? Pat, save me. Save me, Pat. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. S. Scott, 1986. I'll eat letters. I'm gonna need to put him on the smoker for about 24 hours to make sure he's not too tough. He's gonna be real gamey. You might need to smoke him longer than 24 hours. Human meat takes a little more time than you think to cook. I'm giving you a spin, even though you want a snowboard, so you don't get anything. It's for appearances. But I will give the next question to or spin to the next person. Super crazy peanut butter Dave. Just curious, when you guys are going to the hill to ride, how long of a ride time makes it worth the trip? Hour, 2 hours, or do you need more time if you're going to gear up, get out there? I can be at the resort in 12 minutes.
Yeah. I mean,
we have a parking pass. Like we literally can park right next to the chairlift. So for us, I mean, if it's a shitty day, it's raining or it's fucking icy or it's crowded, it's whatever. I'll come back the next day. But for the most part, I think we're there about 4 to 6 hours max. That's about it.
Normally. But yeah, I mean, usually, even if it is shitty, we're still there for like 2 hours, still trying to get something done in that day instead of just being like, well, it's a total waste today. It's like, no, like, because when you guys go out and ride a snowboard, like, probably not going to be the best conditions every time you go, unless you're super lucky. So you got to know how it rides in that shit. Like, so that's why we still do it. And like, if that board handles better and I still have fun when it's raining out and it's nasty, like that's even better for the board, I think. But like,
oh yeah,
I mean, 2 hours at the minimum we're there.
Yeah,
like,
2 hours.
And that it's got to be just absolute dog shit. Like,
I think the last time I left after 2 hours, one day this year, my body was just so fucking hammered, and then I bomb holed off of a side hit and was just like, ugh, going home. I was like, I'm done. I need to go. And I literally just drove straight home, looked at my dog, and I was like, don't even fuck with me. Walked in my room and went to sleep. Woke up like 2 hours later, and she's just sitting there like, I'm ready to go out now. I was like, yeah, we're going to do it. I always think of this one comment I got last year where this guy's like, well, I don't understand why you're testing boards in the worst conditions. You should be riding it only in the best conditions. And I was like, so you only get the best conditions every time you ride? End of conversation. I was like we're lucky enough we could cherry pick compared to most people, but
yeah,
so yeah. Super funny, but let's give Dave here a spin. Click the links. Click the links. All right. Super chat from Bezium's truly proud of that fast bankruptcy. You want to join him? Well, lose a turn. All right. From Henry, hey Angry, if you rode this year's Capita Indoor Survival, I heard it's getting a little softer this year. Indoor stayed the same. Wait. Or am I thinking outer space living? No, indoor. Indoor stayed the same.
Outer
space
changed.
living changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. An Orient TC fancy with the seat warmers. I got leather and seat warmers.
You got a heated steering wheel too.
I can't do that. My hands sweat too much. Freaks me out. I drove my friend's Raptor, and I was like, I got back, and I was like, dude, what the fuck? You didn't tell me you had a heated steering wheel. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot that was there. Nice, wasn't it? I was like, no. It's
I like it.
Disgusting.
Mine gets to like the perfect temperature where it just grips. It's nice and tacky.
I want that cold leather when I touch it.
Hate it.
Love it.
Hate it with a passion.
No. Heli-skiing. This time in the summer, you can straight up bake cookies on the dish. Did anyone see the video of the woman in Arizona that was cooking bread in her mailbox? She had a metal mailbox outside, and she's like, yeah, just mix it up and put it in there, and in 40 minutes I come out and it's done. And you're like,
there's an Instagram account of some dude that always cooks in mailboxes. Like, he'll put pizza rolls in there, like full pizzas, everything. Pretty
she
interesting.
Took out like a whole fucking loaf, and I looked at it and was like, she's like, if I had a bigger mailbox, I'd bake cakes. I was more like impressed. I was like, I'm looking at this and I'm going, if it's that hot in there, it's probably like 120 outside. How are you not dead, old lady? You walked to your mailbox.
Yeah.
Arizona, where the vinyl in your car just melts in on itself. Like, oh. Okay. Another one from Ellie Zecker. Any opinions of Montana's Snow Bowl or Whitefish, considering in North Idaho, West Montana run next year? But those are the two I'd have to pay tickets for. I've never been to either of them.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I've heard Whitefish is sweet, but
I've heard that too. You know, Snow Bowl isn't Snow Bowl the one with the old double seater that's ancient as shit?
I think so.
Yeah. So. All right, Beziums. What is the main thing on a board that affects the edge-to-edge transition? Hashtag Rangooners, hashtag Castaways in a month. Sure, come on by. We'll go eat some Rangoons at Castaways. I'll watch you devour a whole key lime pie barehanded again. It'll be amazing. So the big one for me for the edge-to-edge transition is it's the combination of side cut with torsional flex.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I was thinking just width of the snowboard.
I mean that, yeah,
a little bit of taper and width to it, like. But that was my first thought. I'm like, yeah, if you get on like a War Pig, it's gonna be kind of slow edge to edge just because of how fucking wide that thing is. But then you get on the Berserker and it's got a super tight side cut and some taper to it, and that thing just wants to turn. So
it's okay. That reminds me of this stupid question I got from this fucktard this week. And yes, this guy's a fucktard. He's like commenting on a top 5. What board would you recommend? I mean, there's literally 5 right there. There's 8 in this list. Take your pick. I want a free ride. And I was like, any of these? And so then he comes back and says, I want a board that's better than my T6 Burton that's 15 years old. But I keep going back to it because no boards are like that. Well, no shit. The 162 is only a 24.8 waist width.
Yeah.
Like, the 52 is a 24.2. I'm like, dude, you ain't gonna find anything like that in this day and age. Women's boards aren't even that narrow these days.
Yeah. I mean, the closest you would get would be a Berserker, I feel like. That thing's still narrow at like a 167 wide.
It's a T6, so it has that metal core in it.
Yeah. But I mean,
that board sucks. But yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, well, the Berserker is going to be the most narrow thing for it. And even that, you're also going to hate the fact that it's got a fucking urethane sidewall.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to change everything. I was like, so I told him, I was like, there's nothing. And he goes, well, maybe he was being all passive aggressive. He's kind of a douche. And he's like, well, maybe I should just listen to someone else. And I was like, yeah, go listen to someone that'll lie to you. At least I said there's nothing out there. I was like, hop on eBay. You want another T6? There's like 50 of them for sale for $100. Most of them looked like they were ridden 5 days because someone was like, I'm going to buy my way into being a good snowboarder.
Yep.
Fucking overpriced fucking piece of shit.
Don't worry, there's a list for that.
Well, TC rigged this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got Coffin. Whatever happened to that 100%, that game that wasn't 100% Plinko? Plink your line?
Yeah.
Sitting in the hallway. We're still figuring some things out for this year. It may make a triumphant return. The fact that everyone won the major prizes in the first 3 was kind of sad.
It was terrible because when we dropped 40 of those things like in a day, didn't get one going to the sides. And then the second you drop 2, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It just takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah.
You got the Gunked Gungus. All right. We got WBG 152 coming in at FM radio. Hey, Angry, looking at good deals on last year's Ride A9s and the Rome Cleavers, which is more powerful, responsive. A9s, because it's metal. It's not going to flex as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the high back is better on the Cleavers and the heel strap.
I would agree with you on the heel strap, but the A9 high back is my favorite high back that Ride makes.
You also ride a ride boot.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true. But just keep in mind that high back is narrow, like really narrow on the A9. So keep that in mind as well. And the Cleaver is going to be more damp than the Ride is. So if you got a bad back, you might want to go to the Cleaver as opposed to the 9 because you're going to feel.
The Cleaver also has a bigger disc in it.
It does.
Slightly bigger disc to it.
Jumbo.
No. Well, it's a medium.
Yeah.
But still. All right. We got Lewis Brooks. Have you guys got your hands on Battalion's boots? Will they be worth considering for next winter? We've gone over this many times. Yes, they will be. They're designed very well. We'll actually have a boot series for you guys at some point. I got to see where Ben, our editor's at, because you drop 500 videos on a guy to edit. He kind of just sits there and stares at you like, okay, yeah. Poor guy. He's gonna climb to the top of the gondola building and start shooting people with rubber band guns. He's gonna be menacing people. Be like, ow, I got shot with a rubber band. We got an active shooter. All right. Okay. We got WV. Check Canadian side deals for last year's boards plus 74% exchange rate. If Berserker, Smokescreen, Peacekeeper, and Deepfake, what's your pick for the East Coast? I'd probably just grab the Deepfake, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless you got a small boot. If you got a small boot, then the Berserker. But otherwise, yeah, Deepfake.
Yeah,
but he's not wrong. Like there are some crazy blowouts on Canadian sites. So like we work with PRFO, and they're in East Coast Canada. But Source Snowboards, the Boardroom Shop, Tribute Lounge, Wired Snowboards is selling direct. Endeavor is selling direct. Wired just put up a bunch more stuff. Like I think the cheapest board I saw was like $209 US. Regularly would have been like $450, $500. So crazy deals.
I would say you can't go wrong with any of those except for the smokescreen. You don't want the smokescreen.
No.
Like, if you're thinking of going smokescreen, go shadow ban. It's almost the same board, but much better.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
or wait for the ride moderator to come out.
Or wait for the moderator. But like the Berserker, the Peace Seeker, and the Deepfake, you can't go wrong. It's just what kind of riding do you want to do?
Yeah.
But those are the 3 I would go from. Like, no problem. Deepfake probably going to go number 1 on that list, I would say.
Yeah, so my order would be like this. It would go Deepfake. If you want to turn and burn Peace Seeker, only reason I don't put Berserker higher is because if you've got a bigger boot, you have issues with it because it is narrow. If you're like a size 9, 8, or 7 boot, fuck yeah, go get it, dude. You'll rip that thing.
Yeah, but they're 167 wide is a 268 waist or 262 waist width.
Yeah.
So not gonna help even if you're like a size 11. You're kind of screwed on that board.
All right, let's get this man a spin. Well, Hey, you won a board. You won a letter. We're not totally screwing everyone over here. I'm pretty sure you're actually not on the list. So we'll add you to the list. I'm checking it twice. Maybe even thrice if you're lucky. All right. Well, you got the S on there. All right. We got Rye Guy. Just read the Patreon review on the new Felcars. What are some boards you would throw those on? So, Captain Megadeth, right away. I'd go with that. Maybe even a Navigator. It really depends what you want. Like you can put that pretty much anything that's slightly above mid flex and more free ride oriented or powder oriented. That's really where I would go with it.
Yeah.
All right. Tomato Joe, how is the outer space living? Loose in the tips. It's loose. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's find some stuff. I like this. Joe Gunn, mailbox bread because Subway is $18 for a foot long. Fuck, dude, I stopped in the middle of bumfuck nowhere and it was like $22 out the door for a foot long with 3 cookies. I was like, God damn. No. Dude, so I just saw something. It's hilarious. Like Chili's and Applebee's are now cheaper to go to and get food than it is to go to Burger King.
I can see that.
I was like, fuck me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like, man, it was like $14 for a burrito last time I went to Chipotle, and then it's like $14 for a $5 box at Taco Bell. So it's like, Domino's though, still
like it blows my
$7
mind because they raised their prices that much, but the Euro stand, which has always been affordable, but like they had to raise their prices on stuff. I can go get a Euro with everything on it and bacon because I'm all about Middle Eastern hate crimes, and I can go get that with hummus and everything on it, and I think I'm out the door for $13, so $15 with tip.
Yeah,
and it's fucking hearty
there's
portion.
There's that pizza shop in Frisco that it's like Pino's. I call it pepperonis, but it's amazing. If you guys are ever in Frisco, I highly recommend it. But like $4.50 for a piece of pizza that's like this big, you're like, okay, I could do that. Like if you buy 2 of them, you got 2 meals there because they load that thing with cheese and whatever toppings you want. It's so good. And it's like it's more affordable to go to the mom and pop shops now than actually go and get chain food, which I'm down with actually. Like I feel bad for those guys because their margins aren't great, but they make some good food.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's like the market down the street here has the best breakfast burrito and sandwich.
Yeah.
Croissant.
And chicken sandwiches.
Chicken sandwich. The chicken sandwich. Well, so for breakfast stuff, like for me, if I'm running early, because they open at 7, so I can be in there and grab a breakfast burrito by like 8 on my way out the door. It's $7.99 for a breakfast burrito and that's the bacon one. So that's bacon, eggs, hash browns, beans in it. It's fucking hearty, right? $7.99. That's fine with me. Like if I roll into the resort, I'm paying $14 for it.
Yeah,
like the chicken sandwich is $7.99 for a lunch sandwich, and it's the same chicken fritter that Chick-fil-A uses, and so it's.
And that one just recently went up.
The only reason that went up is because Mitch, the manager, looked at his margins and was like, "Oh shit, I'm not going to hit my bonus now because price cost went up." He had to do it because he does the very basic minimum to hit his bonus. It's hilarious. He does not go. He's like, "What number do I have to hit?" He will figure out how to hit just that number, and that's it.
That's smart.
Like that dude is a man of the people. Everyone else would be trying to screw you out of it, and he's like, "No, I mean I can get a chicken sandwich and a side of fries and like a higher end soda, like in a can or something like a Jones or something like that. I can get that and I can be out the door with tip for $12." And the side of fries is, and they're seasoned fries. Like, you've never had their fries, I don't think.
Nope.
And their fries are fucking good. Like, they're really, really good. But I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like freaking ridiculous. Like, how much cheaper it is to go that. Yeah. Like, you know, I was talking to my friend Isaac the other day, and he ordered a calzone from Gian Petros. He's like, how much do you think it was, bro? And I was like, I don't know, 22, 25. And he's like, 50. And I was like, the fuck? How much they charging for pizza now? $100? Like, I'm like, and that place does high volume because most days after 3 o'clock, that place is like a 2-hour wait.
Jesus. Yeah, and then the Chinese food place in Frisco as well. It's like $25 for 2 people to have lunch there. It's a great deal. You're like,
oh my god,
that's not bad, and it's so good.
It's $12.50 with a drink there. So yeah, so $25. So
all right. Well, I don't know if he froze up for you guys, but he definitely froze up for me. So we'll see. Let me know in the chat if he did, or if we're just talking over each other, or if I froze too. I might have froze too.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
There it is.
They're digging again, I'm pretty sure, and they're gonna fuck the cable line in there. So to go back to what I was saying, so yeah, so you get a drink, 1 crab rangoon, a spring roll, a little cup of soup, and then your lunch portion for $12.50. That's a fucking screaming ass deal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for the Chinese place. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's, yeah. So, you know. Plus you might see Tommy Bennett there. He always orders chicken. It's weird. Sometimes he brings it with him.
He got great General Tso's chicken. It's so good.
Their food.
Their sesame too.
Solid 3-star Chinese restaurant, which means you know it's probably going to be good because it's not the cleanest.
Yeah. It's not terrible though.
No,
tables are
won't
clean.
Kill you.
No.
No, the worst Chinese in the county is JJ's Buffet over in Silverthorne. That place, you might die. Literally.
I've been to a Chinese buffet in 20 years, I want to say.
I don't know. If I don't get 5 plates when I go to the Chinese buffet, I feel gypped. All right. This is a PSA from Josiah Bartle. If you're going to buy your way into being a good snowboarder, use the links at least. Actually true.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. We got Luke coming in again with the same question because he had a typo. Doesn't matter. We got you. We'll give you a spin. We answered it, so you're good. If you haven't caught it, scroll back. Well, congratulations to the people above and below you. They're getting nothing. So, all right. We got yes. Any thoughts on Endeavor's inertia rods? It's just a carbon rod. A lot of companies are doing it, but so that when you flex it, it really springs back. They give you a lot of snap. I like them. Like, they're solid. All right. This one's for you, sir, from Jack Off Beat. TC, how was year 1 of being an angry employee? Labor Day weekend is the official 1 year. It's also the anniversary of him driving the U-Haul over Boreas Pass on the dirt road.
I might just rent one and just do it for fun this time.
Can I sit in the back?
Sure. They got great tires.
Get rattled around.
Yeah. It's like that one video that you see of like all the people playing cards in the back and then everybody just slamming into one wall. It'd be like that.
I always think of that episode of MacGyver where they created I think it was MacGyver. It might have been the A-Team. Either way, they made a mobile casino in the back of a semi, and I was like, and they were playing roulette, and I was like, how the fuck does that work? Like, I'm watching it, and I was like, the physics don't, like, this does not line up.
You take a turn when the ball's bouncing and the ball's just gone.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think you answered this last week, but let the man know.
Yeah.
So 1 year.
Yeah. It's been good so far. I'll let you know when we get to the full year date.
Yeah. TC's like, I found a new job. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Suck a fart, Averin. God damn it. I'm screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 100-some videos you got to answer questions on, and you haven't ridden about 20 of these brand new products. But you'll figure it out, dude. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, that's it. You haven't quit.
Nope.
Am I easier to work for than Bernie?
Sometimes yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes no.
Like when I'm like, you need to go ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it definitely easier. Less drinking.
A lot less. Oh my god. Next to no drinking.
Yeah, next to no drinking with the boss, so that's a little different. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get this man a spin. So you're gonna have to lose a turn, sir. All right, we got Beziums with the super chat. TC, what will it take for you to try Gamer Goo at Thirsty Thursday? Or did you try it?
I did not. I still have my packet of it. We were waiting. I remember we talked about it, and I was like, I'll try it right now. And you're like, no, let's wait for something on that one. So we're going to wait on the Gamer Goo. I don't know what we're going to do for it, but we'll try something for it. I think
we'll turn that into something on a live stream.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I can't eat Gamer Goo. First ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. I'm allergic to it.
Oh.
It's like, oh.
We'll have to get you the diabetic version then.
Yeah, right? Just mix up some Jell-O. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Put some C4 in some Jell-O, call it a day.
Ollie, some slow signs. I like Joe Gunn's follow-up to this. What flavor goo?
I have pineapple, I think. I don't know. It's over here.
I think they tried to give me sour apple, which I hate sour apple to begin with.
I gotta find it, actually. It might be just in my desk in here somewhere, just hidden. I'll find it. I'll bring it back out.
All right.
Nope, it's not on the clipboard.
We got Dan M. So I know you don't wax boards. Does that include storage wax for this? Fucking board's just sitting in my living room right now, leaning against my kitchen table. It's been sitting there for a couple months.
I'm a firm believer for storage wax. If you keep your board in your room or just a climate controlled place, you don't need it. It's when you keep it in your garage, your attic, your muggy ass basement, that sort of thing. Like
German sex dungeon.
Yep. If you keep it in there, that's probably gonna get all gamer gooey.
Yeah.
But it's some rusted edges. But that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not a huge believer in storage wax. Like, none of my boards have it.
Yeah.
And they all look fine on the bottom, actually. So
I think I'm going to give away my shadow band to one of you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I got to see if we get bindings in the fall. I need to use that board to test them to keep consistency the same. But if we don't, I'm just going to be like, yeah, fuck it. Someone can have it. I'll probably give it away around Christmas. I'll just be like, yeah, whatever. I'll probably be at the resort and I'll just look and I'll be like, your board's shit. Here, have this. Thanks.
Thanks.
I just want to get to that point where I'm just like, your board looks like shit. Here's a free one. Thanks. Someone be like, I went snowboarding at Copper Mountain and this random guy just gave me a snowboard. Didn't even film it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. Half the time I'm like, all right, whatever. Don't need to be doing some performative philanthropy. All right. We got Patrick Shoemaker. Got some great deals this summer. Thanks for everything you guys do. Remember, on Saturday mornings on the community tab on YouTube, I post deals, stuff ranging from 20% up to 70 to 80%. So there are some screaming deals in there. So always check that out.
And if you guys are looking for stuff in particular, let us know and we can have deals kind of centered towards something like that, like we've done in the past. Like someone's like, I need a POW board. And we're like, all right, well, here's some deals for power boards.
Yeah, I've done that. You know, like certain weeks I choose different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Lately I've just been looking for what has. So like I'll type in a brand. So like let's say Capita Snowboards, and then I can put it to on the back end for the affiliates. I can be like, what has the highest discount? And I'll be like, oh, it's a DOA, Super DOA, or Mega Merc, and I'll be like, boom, there you go. That's what I do. Is 70%. You know,
bam.
Next question gets a spin. All right, let's find a question here. All right, let's see. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, I like this one. From Jonathan Cosiana. Deciding whether or not to heat mold my new boots. I haven't in the past. Would it be a bad idea to strap in and stand in the board, knees bent when heat molding? No, that's actually really good. I firmly recommend that when you heat mold, you want to have your knees bent. You want to have it bent right over the toe. If anything, you want to elevate the toe a little bit so you sink back in the heel pocket. It's personal preference. Like if you're fine with the break-in period, probably don't need to heat mold them. If you're like, oh, I want to expedite it, then definitely heat mold it. You know, it's kind of your call.
Yeah, I would say when you are heat molding your boots, instead of you having to stay crouched down in your snowboard position for 15 minutes, if you want to work on your legs, that's totally cool. But otherwise, take two snowboards, stack them on top of each other, and just put the toes on top of it. It's going to raise your toes and mimic like you're in that snowboard stance without actually having to do a half-assed squat for 15 minutes. And it'll sink that heel in the heel pocket and pretty much do the same thing for you. But that's what I would recommend. You don't necessarily need to strap down, because if you do strap down on it too, where that instep is, it's going to compress that foam a little extra and it might pack it out too much for you. So I don't necessarily recommend strapping in when you're molding your boots, but just try to prop up those toes, read a book, watch TV, do whatever, but you don't necessarily have to strap in.
Yeah, no. It's kind of your call on that one. I like you said, I usually just wedge it and put it back. Whatever you do, don't walk around when you're heat molding the boot. You get all sorts
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Any shop that tells you that, those people are fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're like, go kick around. You're like, I'm literally just sliding in my boot then. Like, you're just creating so much space in there. So don't do that.
Yeah. So, yeah. But let's give this man a spin. Oh, next question gets a spin. Let's find another question. All right. We'll take this one from Fudge Dread. What's your favorite Burton jacket over $800? None.
Yeah, I don't think a jacket needs to be over $800. I think that's just robbery.
I'm not paying the Burton tax.
No. I do love their anorak pullover. I don't know if they still make it even, but they used to have a Burton AK pullover that was so sick, but it was like $600 and you got one pocket on it. I'm like, never going to buy that jacket. It's just way too expensive. Fit great, but no.
I wouldn't. $800? Do you know how much L1 I could buy on eBay for that? That's like 20 sets of outerwear for me. Because I keep getting the goddamn good deals on eBay. I'm like, $25 for a brand new in tags 2014 L1 jacket and XL. Boop, done. Boop, done. If I buy it and it doesn't fit, I was talking to my little brother today. I was like, hey, you need anything? He's like, I need outerwear. And I was like, I got some new with tags, old stock L1. He's like, oh, sick. He's like, why aren't you wearing it? And I was like, my neck and shoulders got too big for it from lifting. I was like, you can have it. He's like, oh, sweet. All right. Let's give this man a spin. Whew. Not hitting that 3 in a row. Ollie's slow signs. Ollie, those slow signs. All right. We got Brian P. Thoughts on tail shapes in powder? I may be looking at Japanese pintails to cope with summer. The big thing is look at the taper. The tail is secondary. The taper. How much taper does it have before it goes into that pintail? So, like, if it's fully tapered and it just keeps going back to a point, probably going to sink that tail real easy. But if it's like comes back out and then it pintails again, it's going to be a little different.
Yeah. I don't know. The powder, I really do. I think it's pretty cool to have little fins on the back, but I don't really think it matters too much. Like either
I like a tight fish, like like a tight fish, like not crazy deep swallowtail, but I also like a deep swallowtail. From it depends. Like some days I go back and forth. I'm like, what do I want? Deep swallowtail, pintail, fishtail. Pintails have their place. I think that they're a little bit better in more wide open snow that's steeper because you've got a stronger tail, so it's not like a split tail or anything, and it's not 100%. You know,
I agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah, so
those boards just want to go if you have a pintail and powder. For some, it's got to be physics and shit, but like that board, like always wants to go, and you really notice it, especially on like POW surfers. If you have a pintailed POW surf, that board just wants to fly, and it's like, okay, it's kind of makes it a bitch to turn actually, but on wide open things, definitely more pintail.
Yeah, I mean, physics and shit, which is like science. Like that time we put whiteout on a bee.
Yeah, it died.
It died. Oops. It was actually a hornet. We don't kill bees. Bees are cool.
No. Bees are cool.
Oh, next question gets a spin. Let's find one. There's got to be something down here. All right. Let's see. We'll take this one from Hilux Red. My girlfriend is kind of thick. I'm looking to buy her the Jones Earhart 2.0. She's about 5'9" and 200 pounds. What size would you? Is she thicker? Or is she a muscle mommy?
How good of a snowboarder is she as well?
Yeah.
If she's proficient, intermediate, I would honestly probably go to the just the actual Aviator at that point, depending on how big of a boot she has as well. Just because she might fold that Earhart a little bit easier. It has a little bit thinner core than the Aviator does. And I know a few girls that ride the Aviator, and they absolutely love it. They're like, I don't need the Earhart. It's going to be too narrow for me. So she got a bigger boot, maybe look at that. Otherwise, you're probably looking at the biggest size they make in it. I think that's a 54.
56?
56 or 54, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Otherwise, if you go Aviator, you're looking at probably a 56 again, or you could go a 58, but it might be too wide for her.
Yeah. Sir, TC rig this. You got nothing. All right. We got Insulin 801. Shawarma is recession proof. Good street meat shawarma is. Go for some.
Same with Arizona iced tea. Those things don't raise prices. It's still
well, the CEO came out and said as long as he's the CEO, he won't raise the price.
Well, that's because that guy's smart. He's a problem solver. Instead of driving trucks during the day, he drives them at night so they don't have to waste extra gas on AC and shit and traffic. Yeah. Guy's smart.
And he also figured out, like, if he switched cans, like it shaved X number of weight so that he's smart like that. Like that's the whole thing is like he looks at his processes and goes, how can we refine that? How can we refine that? How can we refine that? Like if you look at how his distribution to shipping is too, it's like it makes way more sense. Yeah. Also, I've never been in a gas station, a grocery store that the Arizona iced tea was not stocked. Plenty
That's true too.
I'm out, but I've never seen Arizona iced tea completely out.
Even in the tobacco store, like when you just like always full, you're like, okay, get a Swisher Sweet.
My old roommate Dylan got sponsored by Arizona iced tea by complete happenstance. He hit up their Instagram and was like, yo, I compete in Rev Tour and I love Arizona iced tea and I hate Red Bull. He's like, who do I have to talk to about getting sponsored? And like, I was like, there is no way they're going to respond to that. And they're like, what's your address? Mm-hmm. And he's like, what? They're like, what's your address? Let's see what you can do. So they sent an envelope of stickers on a pallet full of Arizona iced tea. We had probably like 200 cases of Arizona iced tea shop. The delivery guy looked at us and was like, how the fuck do I get this into your? And I was like, you're going to have to pull to the side, because this is when I lived in Gold Camp. Luckily, we were ground floor on the back side of the building. And I was like, just get it to the door and we'll get it in the. I don't know how this dude pallet jacked it through the building and got it in there, because it was like those hallways were tight. And like I come back and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, I guess I'm sponsored by Arizona Iced Tea. And he delivered so much, like above that the guy that ran the social media was like, yo, we're going to pay you. And I think he got $500 a month from them.
That's not bad.
And a pallet of Arizona iced tea. But it was funny whenever he was trying to convince them to get him an airbrushed Arizona iced tea helmet, like the Red Bull guys. And they were like, we're looking into it. Like, we just got to find it. And I was like, this is fucking hilarious. They were like the most, because I'd had friends that were sponsored by Gatorade and shit. But Arizona iced tea was legitimately just the funniest thing. And then they gave him this card, and like you could use it at any account that had it, and it would bill them if he wanted to get Arizona iced tea. It was crazy.
That's not a bad little sponsor there. All they got to do to get it,
I'll start drinking your stuff if you give us money.
All you have to do to get the sponsor or to get like an airbrushed helmet is just go to any hockey store, and they'll like airbrush you like a custom helmet, like they do on goalie helmets. Like, that'd be pretty sweet. Maybe that's what we'll do for you for like Christmas. Maybe me and Ben will get you an airbrushed helmet.
No, I want to blend into crowds. I already had to retire 2 sets of outerwear from last year because too many people would recognize me. I got to get more outerwear now.
Well, it's a Christmas present. You don't get to decide if you want it or not.
I just won't use it.
We'll just make you wear it on the live streams.
Oh, God. You guys will get me one of those child SPED helmets for reshaping their dome.
Yeah.
Parents don't let their kids roll around and hit their head anymore.
Yeah. Those styrofoam ones.
Oh,
my like
God.
old football helmets.
The big egghead ones that like recorrect shit.
Yep.
You would. Oh, try again. All right. David Dixon definitely wants a U-Haul live stream if you do that.
That would be actually pretty funny.
Just me bouncing around. Just
you bouncing in the back.
Just getting fun. What's even better is I think we either have to go 2 ways with this. We either get a kiddie pool and we fill it with Orbeez.
What are Orbeez?
Those are those little water beads when they expand, you know? And
okay.
So there's just these Orbeez everywhere, or golf balls or something. So they're just like bouncing around. I'm just getting pelted with stuff. Yeah, like you know, you got to open the sliding door and be like, hang tight corner. And I'm just like, or I have to get a roller chair, like an office roller chair.
Yes.
And I have to be taped to it. So I can't even fight it. I'm just like, getting hit and shit.
Have you seen the Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they talk about leaving Philadelphia and they rent a U-Haul and Charlie and Dennis are sitting in the back of the U-Haul, or Mac, I think maybe. And then they duct taped the door so it was open just enough so they could still grill back there. But then somebody hit the gas and the grill just falls and just slides straight out the back. Say, we can do something like that.
I don't want to start a forest fire.
Well, we've learned from their mistakes. We'll make it so the door is lower and it can't just slide out the back.
We'll properly secure the grill.
We will properly secure the grill.
What am I grilling? That's the question.
Whatever you want. It's your grill. Support bells,
so just back there cooking kebabs and steak and shit.
Yeah, whatever you want. I don't care.
Smoking myself up. I told you about the time that the Echelon Hummer broke down in Mammoth, right?
Yeah.
And then we drove the U-Haul all the way back to LA through the desert.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that was just highway driving and that's very straight, you know, like that was from Bishop all the way back to basically where were we? We were like one of the suburbs of LA, but it was like, it wasn't Riverside, but it was like closer to the downtown. of it because I remember the next night it only took us 5 minutes to get to Huntington Beach or Long Beach. Was it where we in Huntington? We were somewhere on the beach. It was fucking hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we were gonna do it, yeah, we probably should live stream it for that. This is how we get banned from YouTube and end up having to go to Kick.
Well, and then have to U-Haul ends up seeing it like shit.
And we get put on a list.
Yeah, and then I can't rent a U-Haul anymore.
It's okay. I'll get someone else to rent the U-Haul in there. I'll be like, yo, are you ever gonna rent a? I'll get my friend Carlo to do it. Yeah. He'll just be like, fuck it, I'm moving back to the Philippines.
What's funny about the last time we rented the U-Haul is my driver's license was not valid at that time. It just expired like 3 days before that. And the guy's like, all right, so you can't drive the U-Haul. She has to. I'm like, yeah, no worries. And then as he's like standing in the window watching us, I just hop in the driver's seat and just take off.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, he's not fucking driving this thing. I was like, this is like one step under the biggest possible truck you can have without a license. I was like, you're not driving.
Your girlfriend is not. She is not built to drive a cube truck.
No. I've been driving trucks like that all summer. I was fine. With whatever I did with it, I didn't care.
Yep. No. That's just picture Amelia having to drive that thing up over. Just down the cliff. Yeah.
Or just stops where it's like, this is a no stopping zone. Like, don't do that here. And it's like, okay.
Trying to 3-point turn. Like Austin Powers side and just drives it straight down.
Yeah.
No, that would definitely. Yeah, that would not be good. All right. We got Joe Gunn. Bankruptcy, my no letter having ass.
I like what he did there. Tempt that.
Watch, he goes bankrupt again. Well, close enough. The Avon tax lose 2 letters, but you have nothing to lose. Oh God, Brian P. We need the angry physics and shit series. No. Did talk to my little brother about bringing back Ask a Black Snowboarder, so we're gonna circle back on that thing in the fall and see if there's something there.
I kind of like the physics and shit series. That would be kind of fun.
Physics and shit, like physics and shit. It's just us throwing snowballs off the lift at people, at influencers. Physics and shit.
Or you just keep stacking cinder blocks on top of a board until it finally just folds. I mean, that's physics and shit.
That'd be a lot of cinder blocks.
I got 2 sitting at the house. And a bunch of broken ones.
You got a metal bucket barrel we can put them in?
Actually, surprisingly, I have them in a plastic just trash can right now. And you can pick up. The trash can probably weighs about 120 pounds, 140 maybe. But you can totally still pick it up and it doesn't break.
We can totally physics and shit this. All right. We got Tukes doing a season in Japan this year. What would be your top boards to just bust out on the POW days? Borealis, Leviathan, Endeavor, Archetype, maybe a Battalion Surfer. So, right there is Swallowtails. Jones Hovercraft would be another one, or a Mind Expander. What do you got, sir?
Well, I was going to say the Jones Hovercraft, number 1. Like, that's what I was thinking for sure. And then out of left field, probably an Orca. Yeah, I know. But that board would be great there. That board's fun.
GC's been taken over by the cult.
Yeah.
He's an Orcaologist.
Physics and shit, That would be a great one. Otherwise, I'm trying to think what was like super fun. That was like out of left field for me. That would be really good.
Well, you really enjoyed the Capita Navigator.
I did really enjoy the Capita Navigator. I would probably bump up a size on. No, I did ride that in the 61. I would ride that for sure out there because we rode that on a wet, hot day and it still floated like no one's business. So
yeah, because you came from the top rope into a Spalding Bowl. You're like, I can't let old man Steve from Gravity show me up. Hey, Tiffany, this is how you go from the top rope. She's just sitting there like. So for anyone that doesn't know, Tiffany is this girl that had never snowboarded that moved to Colorado and got a job at a shop and went from like never riding to always riding. And she's like, I suck. And we're like, no, you're doing really good for being a second year rider. Like you're hanging with the boys regularly. And she's like, I suck. And we're like, no, you're like really good for never doing this. You're fine. And we constantly have to tell her that she can take stuff from the top rope.
Yeah.
And it is just funny because she's a little Vietnamese girl that's probably about 100 pounds. And she's just like, she sends it and you're like, she's dead. She's just fucking, she's so small, she rides a 138.
Well, the funny thing is too, Steve, like, it's like his, like, send him through the gauntlet pretty much. Whoever he hires at Gravity, he takes him to Spalding Bowl, like, right away. And it's like, all right, go for it. Let's see how you ride this. And it's like, damn, Steve, like, it's really beat up today. And it's like, he's just ripping it because Steve's a great snowboarder. Like, he used to be a racer. He used to
whip his dick out on the cat track and piss like 5 feet from you.
Yeah. Spatial awareness, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's his thing. And I asked him about it. I was like, you took her to Spalding Bowl? And he's like, I do with all my new hires. I was like, they have to go there. If they can't make it down Spalding and out, they can't work in the shop. And I'm like, that's amazing, actually. And she crushed it. So
she did.
Tiff, ripper for only riding like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No, like it was funny. She was talking to me at the end of the season and she's like, so Averin, should I go to Hood for the summer so I can work at a camp so that I can ride more? And I was like, have you already applied? And she's like, no. And I was like, then you're not working at a camp. And she's like, what? And I was like, you should have done that last fall. And she's like, well, what do I do? And I was like, well, we're going to have a hike to park all summer here at Copper. So why don't you just stay here and do that?
Yeah.
You know? So I need to go stop by and heckle her a little bit, see how she's doing. But yeah,
they do bikes in the summer,
I think we gave you a good list of boards right there.
Yeah.
You know, you did like that Mick Wayfinder.
The Mick Wayfinder was nasty. Yeah, maybe you should take a Mick Wayfinder. That thing,
the MC Wayfinder, but we like to call it the Mick Wayfinder. Or if you're a big boy, if you're ballsy enough, 203 BBC.
I thought about saying that actually. I was like, oh, you don't need to do the doughboy, but you know. But the Mick Wayfinder, that was a lot of fun. If you want a surfy pow board, like you're actually surfing, you go with the Mick Wayfinder.
If you want a pintail, the Karoo at Pentonic is really good.
Yeah.
What the Uber egg for super deep days? That thing was unsinkable. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, because you rode that on that 24-inch super wet pow day that we had to save a guy. There was a skier that was like face first, and all he could hear is "Help! I can't get up." Every time he'd put his arm down, he would just sink further, and we're like, we should probably give him a hand. Like he was so close to the cat track of making it safe, and he just blew up.
Let's see. Scott Jones, TC could get sponsored by Pantene with that look, with that flow.
I appreciate that. Head and Shoulders, it seems like they're paying out everybody. They got Mahomes, they had TJ, Hushmanzada. I got to get on that.
How do we get on that?
I'll grow
my hair back out. I'm not completely bald yet. I'll have a skullet. I don't give a fuck.
Everybody knows that's how you make money in snowboarding. You get the sponsors outside of snowboarding with the money. It's like racing. They'll give you the car, but you got to cover it in stickers.
Yeah. All right. Why are you on YouTube? Asks, why the fuck are they adding 3BT to the ding? Well, they're not. It's not 3BT. 3BT is proprietary to a completely different company set. It's not. It's a mellow 3D shape that you really won't notice until you get into POW. That's it. Like, that's it. It's it. I mean, you're talking, like, if I took a straight edge right now and put it on there, you're talking maybe this much at the edges. It's so mellow, you're not going to notice it.
Yeah, I would consider it more of what Jones does on their their least amount of flare and that sort of thing on their boards. Like, certain boards have less than others when it comes to the spoon shape, and I'd say it's like the least amount, just like what's on that board, on the dinghy at least. Like, you can barely notice it.
Yeah. All right. From Yes, you should get an affiliate link for St. Bernard. Oh, we had it. And they cut the commission down to 1%. Then they never updated their back end of their website. They were fucking horrible to work with, so I cut them. There you go. That's it. Like, if it costs more work to post the links than we make from it in a year, goodbye. Fuck you. Yeah. Move on. All right. Okay, we got Scott Jones. My large 10-year-old son outgrew his 120 Rome mini shred, so we got him a 140 Jones Prodigy. He's within the weight range, but I'm worried about that big jump in size paired with the Union Flight Pros. Thoughts? He's got to learn how to ride like a man at some point.
Yeah, I mean, It is what it is. If he grew that much, like, he's not going to really notice a difference, actually, I don't think.
If anything, he's going to have probably better edge control now that he's bumped up 20 centimeters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's right on that cusp of being a tweener. And when he hits that, you're gonna be grateful that you did this.
Yeah, and I think Flight Pros are fine. If you didn't want to go with Flight Pros,
they're great.
Yeah. If you didn't want to do that, you could look at some women's bindings as well. Those are normally on sale a little bit better. And it's the same thing. Like, if you were to get a women's trilogy, which is just a women's force pretty much, it's the same binding as a force. It's just a smaller size. So if you wanted to do that and have him grow into it where you can expand that binding a little bit more, definitely go for it. But if he's super lightweight still, the Flight Pro is going to be fine. Like, you'll be fine with that binding. It's once he gets big, he's going to have problems on that thing.
Yeah. All right. We got James Mosley. Do Karua boards ever go on sale? No. That's the beauty of their graphics. If you don't change anything and it just stays the same year over year, it never goes on sale. It's a genius move on their part. Shop sale. Because it was funny. Last year I stopped into Underground, our local shop here, because they carry Karua. And Andy looked like just kind of upset. And I was like, what's up? And he goes, dude, you're not going to believe this phone call I got. And he says, what's that? He goes, well, a guy calls me up and asks if I have a Karua. And it's a weird size. Like, not everyone's going to have it in the U.S., right? And he's like, yeah, actually, I do have that. And he goes, cool. So what's the price? And he's like, it's $4.99 or $5.99, whatever it is for the Karua, you know? The guy's like, no, what's the sale price? And he goes, that's the price. And he goes, no, it's the middle of summer. What's the sale price? And Andy's like, that's the price. The graphic doesn't change. The board's the same. So even if I order a new one, that will be the price. I can sit on this product for 2 or 3 years and keep selling it at full price. And the guy's like, you're a fucking clown. Fuck you. I'm going to go call another shop. And Andy's like, go ahead. They're all going to be, unless they're closing out because they're not carrying them. I was like, go to their website. It's the same price year round. Yeah. He's like, that's what it is. That's why, like, if you're going to buy it, you're just going to buy it. That's how it goes. You might be able to find one that was a demo at a shop or a B grade, but for the most part, that's it. I think it's absolutely genius. We had talked about if brands had go to a 2 or 3 year cycle for graphics and colorways, shops will make more money in the long run, because if they have a bad year, they're like, well, it's just a carry forward for the next. You don't have to overproduce for the next year and stuff like that. It makes more sense. It would change the whole review game for us too, because it'd be like, oh, this graphic's good for 3 years. Okay. The next year I just go in, and which I'm going to do with the amplids and some of the other stuff, and be like 2025, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about it with many companies before, like, hey, and like, they'll ask us, what do you guys think we could do better? And like, well, if you're going to keep the same guts of a board for 2 years, keep the graphic. Like, you would save a fortune, especially if that board flopped. The first year you know it flopped, you don't have to produce more of those. You just keep whatever's on the market there and retune it for next year or the following year. And it's like, you're saving money. You have less waste as well. It just makes more sense to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does. Like, I was talking to Travis and Scott at Roswell, and they're like, yeah, I think we're going to 2 year graphics. And I was like, you should. And then, like, you look at Jones, and they've got that carry forward stuff too. That makes sense. There's a few other companies that are doing carry forward, and it makes total sense to me. Like, Nitro did it with some of their higher end. Amplit has like a 2 or 3 season run. It makes sense to me. It really does. You're like, yeah, this is what we're doing. This is boom. Boom. There you go. There you go. There you go. So,
it's like cars.
yeah.
Like they change a car very subtly from year to year, and then after 2 or 3 years, then it's like, here's a whole new body of this car, and you're like, okay, just makes sense that you do it in snowboarding as well. But you know, especially with bindings and boots.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah. It's that's kind of my whole take on that. So let's check in on the poll here. So all right, we are at 173 votes. Would you buy a Dior snowboard? 4% of you said yes. Who are you fucking heathens? Who the fuck said that? 51% said no. 25% Dior snowboard ? And 20% said Axe body spray only. I like those. I like where you guys are going there. We're gonna end that poll there now. So, but yeah, okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, we got James Mosley, Transition Finder or Transition Finder Plus for fun onboard quiver. How stiff you want to go? That Transition Finder Plus is stiffer, noticeably stiffer. Like, also the new Transition Finder, because they moved factories, rides a little different. It's a little more loose than it's been in the past. That's one thing.
Hey, Aaron, can you say that again? Because you cut out right when you said what about the factory. Could you re-say that?
They switched factories. Okay. And so the new Transition Finder, it's got a slight tweak to the shape and the flex. It's a little more loose than it's been. And you notice that right away. You're like, this isn't as precise as it's been. So, yeah. Anyways. Oh, all right. Well, I think we're slowing down on questions. So if no one wants to get anything in, we're probably going to call it early this week. Because, it's the middle of the summer. Ain't shit going on.
No, it's even been quiet for snowboard news as of recently, really. Like, what's quiet when Snowboard Mag is talking about Dior having a pro model with Lucy. You're like, ooh, this is. And that was my first thought.
Well, that publication is so ass backwards. We're out of business. Hey, we're back. We're doing this. We're putting out a magazine, but no one carries it. Hey, we wrote an article, but no one's going to read it. Oh, we hired TJ from Board Archive to do video reviews for us, but no one watched them.
Yeah.
You're like, how are you still in business? Like, I don't fucking know.
I don't.
So, yeah.
Oh, we should answer this one, though, if you know the answer.
Which one is that?
There, go. I just got rid of it. There it is.
What's your next board you're thinking about to get? Uncle A and TC. Thinking maybe a Rome Stolly Cruiser. I don't know. Fuck.
You keep talking about it every time we're in the room. You're like,
I mean, I got a Dinosaurs Will Die Jeff Holtz sitting in my spare bathroom from this past season that's brand new. That Gino hasn't gotten back to me on what to do with all these boards. And I'm like, it's a 57 mid-wide. Fuck it. I'll ride it. I don't care. I am for the preseason, I'm going to be riding that 50, was it 55, 54, 50, the 55 Kink, the Jed Pro model. Like, I'm just going to ride this, and then around Christmas, I'm probably just going to leave this on the rack with a photo on Instagram and be like, first person that comes and gets it can have it. So I'm just going to ride that in the preseason and then end up giving that away. But I don't know. I mean, realistically, I could probably ride my shadow band for another season.
Yeah.
It's not that clapped. It hasn't died yet, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about riding this again, or I don't know, maybe even a 56 Stratos. But my problem with the 56 Stratos, it's not the funnest on rails. And if I'm testing bindings, it's not going to be that great for it. So I'm like, I'll probably just ride this one again. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get a 61 Stratos for races. Who knows?
Magically, a 61 Megadeth's going to show up for you.
Yeah. Either that or a 64 Free Carver 9000.
Fart Carver. Fart
Yeah.
Carver. I don't know. I'm sure at some point I'll just be like, oh, there's something. Worst comes to worst, I've got a brand new 57 Shadow Band sitting here that I could just be like, yeah, all right. I know how it rides.
It's only got 1 day on it.
Yeah. Yeah. You started to break it in for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. I could ride a signal board if I really wanted to. That Yuki was not bad. I'm kind of curious how the Omni rides. Just do that and be like, whatever. I don't know. I was joking around with myself and I was like, I should just get some like really obscene board for the whole season with a weird shape. And that's just all that I ride for everything, every day. That's
Doughboy.
it. I could do it. I could do the Doughboy for sure.
You can easily do a Doughboy.
I could do the Doughboy. My front side airs in the half pipe would get really good.
They would look
Backside
really
airs,
good too.
Like, front side though,
oh yeah,
I'm going out head high on that thing. Backside, maybe 6 inches. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure someone will offer me something and I'll just be like, huh. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll take it. I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. I just want to get out and ride. I just don't care.
I have thought about doing like the Beyond Metals board, like by Battalion. That thing was so much fun. It's crossed my mind before. I mean, I don't know. There's just so many good boards out there that I'm like almost a kid in a candy store where it's like, I'm just going to stick with what I have actually, because just so much good stuff out there that it's like, if I get one thing, I'm going to want another, and it's just going to.
Dude, that's the problem. That's the problem with testing so much stuff is you're like, I want this. I want this. I had an ex-girlfriend that did reviews and she was a board hoarder. And I was like, why are you keeping that? Why? Well, and she couldn't justify it. And I was like, why do you have 20 boards? And she's like, why do you only have 2? And I was like, park board, free ride board, all I need. And she's like, you're getting all this stuff. Like I was getting so much stuff. And she's like, you're always sending it back or giving it away. And I was like, I don't need it. I don't care. Ride a directional twin the rest of my life and I'll be fucking happy.
Yeah.
No, I think the bigger thing with me is I'm really contemplating switching from black labels to Katana Pros.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if I hadn't gotten a brand new pair of black labels this year, because Rome felt bad that I snapped 2 pairs in a week. They're like, you seriously snapped them? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, where? And I sent them a photo, and the marketing manager is like, I have never seen one break that way. He's like, it's like it disintegrated. And I was like, yeah, that's what 500 plus days on a set of bindings from you guys looks like. He's like, you got 500 days? And I was like, I think I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, what are you going to do with them? And I was like, I'm going to pull every part that's still usable off these and make another pair out of them. So, you know, it's just, yeah. Like, I think that would be the bigger thing is because no one needs black labels. Nobody does. Katana Pros are probably too much for most people. Just get a set of katanas. You'll be fine. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't honestly think that you need carbon in your binding. Like, I think that's just kind of stupid in my opinion, but like, you know, to each their own.
No,
for most people, 90% of people, I think.
90% of people, yeah. For me, I can feel that difference, that power distribution, toe to heel, was a big difference with the Katana Pro versus the regular Katana, the black label. I was like, okay, I can feel that difference, but I like that ASIM wrap, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know, if anything, I'd start cobbling bindings together between Battalion and Rome. So I'd have the Battalion heel strap on there, and I can just hear Brad, our local Rome rep, like, I will fucking strangle you. Meanwhile, Chad Lewis is like, yeah, fuck yeah, ride the Battalion strap, our Battalion rep. I'm like, you guys work for the same company. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's like this whole rivalry thing. And you know, and it's just so funny. But I don't know. I've still got 2 pairs. 2 or 3 pairs of viable black labeled. So until those die, I guess I just got to keep going with it.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. I will literally ride shit till it disintegrates. Like, and when I say disintegrate, I mean literally. Like, here's some of the parts of the heel cup. Like, there's like a little piece in there. There's another piece somewhere back here too. I'm just gonna make a video about it. So I was like, I gotta hold on to that. But yeah, when I unscrewed it, like just chunks of metal fell out, and I was like, oh. This looks like that Oldsmobile that I destroyed the transmission on. I was like, just chunks of metal coming out. So I don't know. But this year, we did do something cool for you guys for top 5. So you're getting my personal top 5 picks and TC's personal top 5 picks. There's no rhyme or reason. And then the 2-board quiver video, we both did one for you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you guys can kind of see what's out there. All right. So let's see. What do we got here? I like this. Fudge shirt. But there's a new Orca graphic 3 times per year. You got to buy them all, man.
You need them all. You got to get your own pot of Orcas.
All right. Let's see. And then we got our boy Jackoff B. You jibbed my superposition with the new Stolly Cruiser the day before Thirsty Thursday. I have the scuff mark to prove it. I don't leave scuff marks. I'm very cautious with gloss top sheets. I know what I'm doing. It's a bold-faced lie, sir. And then we got Fudge Dread. Anyone owned a 3D board noticed you can't do base grinds? You can. I had one and REI ruined it and then changed policies so they refused to base grind any 3D boards going forward. Definitely good. No, that's just because REI hires fucking idiots. They do.
Well, yeah, they probably also put it through. I'm assuming REI is big enough to have just one of those machines that you just send the board through and you don't do it by hand. But if you go to any snowboard shop, they have 3 wheels on this thing that when you send it through the grind machine, those wheels keep it down. You got to take out 2 of those wheels and send it through different times. You got to slide one
for
over
3BT,
and send it
for 3BT. Yeah. So you
and with the Jones.
Wheel.
Jones stuff too.
No, Jones you can run. Theirs isn't that aggressive. If you change the tension, I've done it. It's if you change the tension on the wheel just right, you can do it just fine.
I take it off every time.
But
just because,
especially because they've got different versions of their 3D shaping.
Yeah.
So like, unless you're going with the super aggressive one that's really deep, that one I would consider maybe changing it around. But for the most part, their feed wheel, and it also comes down to what machine you're using. But like with Battalion, you've got to take the feed wheel and pop 2 of the wheels, and you take the far wheel and slide it to the center, and then you have to change the tension on it, and you have to run it 3 different. You have to pay attention. It's like the people that tell me you can't take magnet traction and grind it on a machine, and I was like, how the fuck do you think it comes out of the factory? You just got to move it a little different. And you look at it and you can solve the problem. But if you're putting it in the big Montana, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to work. Just take it to your local snowboard shop.
You're just fucked. Well, you're also stupid enough to buy a Gilson.
I refuse. Or I charge them extra. But, I mean, just take it to a snowboard shop. But if they have a grind right machine, there should be somebody there that knows how to actually do 3BT properly or like a 3D shaped board properly, where it shouldn't be a problem then. Like, I know Powder Tools up in Steamboat, they do a great job on that stuff. Like, I've seen them do many 3D ones, and it comes out looking like a brand new board with structure. It looks so good. So it can be done.
I would never let REI tune my shit. I'll just be honest.
I would take them for a wax maybe, but that's about it. I don't think they're going to do any. I would
seriously question that, but that's me.
I don't know. I do it all myself. I don't take my shit anywhere. It's like, can I just use
wax
your stuff and I'll do it?
Fuck. I actually had to put an edge on the shadow band this year because I was like, man, this thing's not gripping that well. I had like this crazy reverse curl and I was in gravity. And I was like, hey, Tiff, you want to put an edge on this? And she's like over there and she's so small. And she's just like, and I was like, oh, she's like, I'm worried I'm going to screw this up. And I just go over there and I'm just like, and I was like, just move it. And she's just like, you could just manhandle it like that. I was like, Tiff, I don't even give a shit. You could grind through my edge. I'll just get another one. It doesn't matter. It's like, I don't care. When it's my shit, I don't give a fuck. Like, You can drop it on its edge. I don't care. Hit it with a hammer. I don't care. Like, no, but yeah, it's just super, super funny. So yeah, like first time I put an edge on the shadow band just because I needed to get rid of that reverse curl because it got so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, REI. Like I've seen the people that they hired for the REI up here. And I remember when they opened and they literally took the D team from every shop, the company that I had worked for over the years. And I was like, wait, so-and-so's working there? Are they that fucking desperate? Wait, they put him in the tune shop?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't even let him plug in a power drill. Like, yeah. So it's always one of those situations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's see. We got XR4 TI88. Where Devin Walsh now 40% off on wiredsnowboards.com. Just got one. That's a solid choice. What do you recommend for all mountain? A little more free ride than freestyle. I'm thinking maybe Nitro Team Pro, Cartel, or 390 Boss. Any other suggestions? If those are your three choices, probably the 390 Boss, but I'd rather bump up to the Cleaver or even a DOD over that. Just get a beefier strap. Nitro Team Pro solid. Cartel, it's like, whatever. I don't give a fuck about
the Cartel is a mission. They changed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, they trickled that thing down.
That binding is going to be way too soft for that board. The regular Cartel is going to be too soft for it. And Burton bindings suck. So don't get that one. But 390 Boss, Team Pro, they're both going to be nice and damp. It's really... Yeah, you said you'd go Cleaver on it?
Well, realistically, I'd probably just go DOD over the 390 Boss. I think that's the right move in there. Or if you did Battalion, I'd go with the Astro Full Wrap because I do like that heel strap. I don't think that's too overpowering for Devin Walsh on it. Otherwise, maybe a Jones Mercury would be good. Get that skate tech in there, get a little more power edge to edge.
You knew that's what I was going to say.
Oh, I know you were. It's fine. Do that. You could do the Atlas from Union if you really wanted to. I mean, go either way with that one. Might like the K2 program if you want something a little surfier underfoot. So
yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's see. We've got Scott Jones hitting Snow Basin for the first time next season. Any opinions or tips? Make sure you shit in the golden toilets.
They do have
you
golden
gotta
toilets.
Shit in the golden toilets.
They do.
They have golden toilets. You have to shit in them. It's just a principle of the thing. No, but seriously, get there early, get on the gondola, take the gondola up, get on the chondola, the little surface one. And when you get up, a lot of people tend to go up and try to like look out the back and see everything. Fuck that. People are going to be thumbjacking their queef holds trying to get a view. If it's a powder day, strap right in, boom, main line right under the tram or chondola or whatever the cabriolet or whatever it is, then all the way back down, high speed pow lap through that valley. Just remember the one side, because the way the sun hits it is thinner, so you can hit rocks. So keep it light on your feet. That's my suggestion for that. Snow Basin's fucking fun. I've had some really fun days at Snow Basin. So need to take you there. Yeah. Okay. Ali Zekaron, would Marhar make me a custom board with my doggo's graphics? Fuck yeah, they would. One of the guys in our Discord put L Stacker, who's a YouTuber that just comments things like you and let's go on everyone's videos. It's kind of annoying. A little bit of a troglodyte. Might live under a bridge. But he took all of his photos from screen grabs and made the L Stacker lumberjack. So it's the Stacker Jack. It's fucking hilarious. He put the photos up and I was like, I can't believe you actually did that. And then you bought it. You paid for a custom board with it. Like, yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, I think we're kind of caught up on questions. It's not a big day this week, so maybe next week we'll have more. I don't know. Maybe we should change the wheel around next week. Get it real interesting. See if some people can win a snowboard. After all, we're moving to the end of July. We've only got through August, and then after that, things change. And if you do win a snowboard this summer, you are out till the end of the year. So you can't win until 2025, win something until 2025. Remember that, because we do have Black Friday coming up, and that's a big day for us to give stuff away.
It is.
So, we got that, and we're working on some stuff. But if you haven't clicked the mystery link of the week down in the description, I highly recommend that you check that one out. There's also the Hollow edit in there. Go check that out. And I think we're done. I don't think we really had a big week this week. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.